What kind of tips would you give to young drummers who are looking to maximize their practice time?
Great question, John. Practicing has to be effective. It's got to be effective. What that means is you've got to have a plan and you've got to follow that plan clearly. Practicing is setting up books that you feel will help you to achieve what you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to develop a higher level of control with the sticks, obviously a book like Stick Control or Accents or Rebounds, or my book It's Your Move that teaches the techniques, are books that you want to have to develop your hand technique. So you got to kind of find out what you're trying to achieve. And then I use books the way a doctor would use prescriptions and drugs.
Mhm.
You come in for an ailment, and I'm going to prescribe you one thing. You come in with a different ailment, I'm going to prescribe something different. So I try and find out what the student needs in what they're trying to achieve and what I feel they really need to work on. And the combination of that, we then put together a plan of a variety of different books and exercises that can allow them to achieve that. Now, once you have that, then you got to put together a plan of how much time you're going to practice. 20 minutes a day is excellent. It's going to give you less results than if you put in 2 hours. So the individual student has to decide, how fast do I want these results? The speed of the results comes into the time that you put into it. That's where the magic begins. And of course, listening to music and playing with live musicians is another form of practicing. So that
Yeah.
should not be put aside. Playing to records, great. I love it. Of course, playing with a band is the ultimate, where you're getting the immediate feedback of what's working and what's not working. That's where you're going to learn also.
Yeah, totally.
What are some tips for students to keep them motivated practicing the drums?
I ask students, name me 5 of your favorite drummers. Let's try that right now. I'll start with you, Matthew. Matthew, name me 5 of your favorite drummers. But I want you to think about this, because I want 5 drummers that inspire you, that totally, when you hear them, you love hearing them play, and they could be alive or dead. What 5 drummers would you name?
I would say Buddy Rich, Neil Peart, Thomas Lang, Todd Stutcherman, and Trey Cool.
Fantastic. So those 5 players, if you listen to those 5 players and you are inspired when you hear them play, and whatever you hear them play, I mean, Buddy Rich, you can go back to the 1960s and hear when he first put his big band together. I knew Buddy. I met Buddy in 1971. I knew him the last 16 years of his life. This was one dedicated, insane perfectionist. So whenever I hear Buddy play, I'm inspired. Neil Peart, my gosh, rest his soul, and a phenomenal, phenomenal player in what he did. Todd Zuckerman, a very, very dear friend of mine. I've done many clinics with Todd. These guys are dedicated artists. Whenever you hear them perform, if that inspires you, that's what's going to be the fuel and the flame that's going to drive you to want to play better and achieve higher levels of success on your own. So listening to those 5 drummers is important. Then, after you listen to those drummers, go back and listen to who they listen to. You want Buddy Rich, go back and listen to Chick Webb. Go back and listen to Papa Joe Jones, drummers that inspired Buddy. With guys like Todd Zuckerman, go back to hear guys like Steve Gadd and or Tony Williams, who inspired Todd. So that's where I believe the motivation and inspiration comes from. Listen to those that inspire you, and that will light your flame. John, 5 drummers.
Bonzo, Bernard, Bernard, Benny Greb,
Nice.
Jojo Mayer. I gotta go Chad Smith for the groove.
Oh, fantastic. Well, JoJo, Benny, and Chad, I met them all when they were younger. I met them all as
Mhm.
as young kids going through my career, and they were all just so wonderful. They had that sparkle in their eyes to want to keep on learning. You mentioned someone like Bonzo. Listen, Bonzo's 2 favorite drummers that he admitted that he stole from and listened to, inspired from, were Buddy Rich and Joe Morello.
Oh
Now
yeah.
think of that. 2 jazz drummers, Buddy Rich, a big band jazz drummer, and Morello, a small group jazz drummer. Bonzo pulled from them. So when someone comes to me and says, Dom, I want to learn the style of John Bonham, I want to learn that rock and blues, I want to learn that style, I say, fantastic. We're going to listen to Buddy Rich and Joe Morello. Then they say, Dom, I don't want to listen to jazz guys. I want to listen to rock guys. I want to hear John Bonham playing. So I want to learn John Bonham style. I go, yeah, we're going to listen to Joe Morello and Buddy Rich. And sometimes they'll say, "Gee, Dom, I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. I don't want to learn jazz. I want to learn John Bonham. Maybe you're getting too old and you don't understand what I'm asking." They've said this to me. So I said, that's a very good point. First of all, I am getting older, so you could very well be, I could be getting older. Repeat again what you're asking for so I better understand it. I said, but say it slowly. So they'll say, I want to learn the style of John Bonham with the band Led Zeppelin. I'll say, now wait a second, I think I got this here. I repeat it back to them. Style John Bonham, that's it. They said, yes. I said, oh my gosh, I finally have it. Yes, I am getting older. We're going to listen to Joe Morello and Buddy Rich. And then they'll look at me. I'll say, where do you think he got a lot of these patterns from? And when you start hearing Buddy and Morello, you start to hear how Bonham played some of those double bass with a single pedal patterns in between some of those eighth notes. That's a jazz pattern. So he just took it and turned it around and put it into a halftime rock feel. When you hear Fool in the Rain, Bonham was a great jazz drummer and a great Latin drummer.
Oh, yeah.
When you hear that, it just opens up a whole nother world of being an open-minded learner.